Hello, friend.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
It is going. Yourself?
It's going. I'm in a little bit of a louder place, but I'm right in between moving to a place with great Wi-Fi, which I'm excited about.
Awesome.
Yeah, right? Big wins.
It's important to have.
Yep. Hmm.
Hey everybody.
Hello, Glenn. I do my best to avoid Wi-Fi. I like to be hardwired everywhere.
Oof, yeah. I'm hoping at my new place I can be. Because whatever was going on, I was in a place where we all had everything wired to the outside of the building. So every time in this beautiful wintry seaside town, it gets a little bit windy, no Wi-Fi.
Oh dear, that's a shame.
It's been nice. It makes me look out the window and enjoy my view.
Slows things down. Lets you appreciate the real things in life.
Yeah, right?
We'll give folks a couple minutes. If anyone has any items they want to talk about today, please add them to the agenda. While we're waiting, the governing board is still on developing a process to intake funding requests. We have a beautiful PowerPoint that the foundation staff helped create, and I'm waiting to talk with Mike Dolan, who's in charge of legal there, to basically they have a Q&A. They want to ask us a couple questions, and then I think it's ready to go formally in front of the board. But it's we got talked about last time, and we will be talked about tomorrow. All the funding requests are on the governing board agenda for tomorrow. So we'll see. I wanted to note to everybody that the call for papers for the Open Source Summit Europe, which will be held in Spain in the fall, is open until May. So we had overall, the foundation had pretty good participation from the membership of submitting talks to the conference at large. So there are several kind of micro conferences there again, and there's also going to be an OpenSSF Day Europe. So I would encourage us maybe to put something together around education or DE&I. Lots of different areas we can kind of get out there in front of real developers.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is the OpenSSF Day, is that CFP open yet?
No, it is not.
Okay, cool.
They lag behind a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
But I will ask Jen Bly after this call, like when she thinks the OpenSSF one will go out.
Cool.
We had good participation in Dublin last year, so I anticipate that Spain will be similar. I'm going to submit a couple things, so maybe I'll get to talk there.
Yeah.
I know for Vancouver, we have Sal's DE&I panel. And I know, Christine, you had a talk accepted as part of the regular conference itself, right?
Yeah, I had a regular talk accepted, and coincidentally, the talk is related to another thing we're doing within the SEM, so it's related to GitHub Management.
Cool.
It's a coincidence because I submitted it before that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
now you might have a document to like refer to.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, that might be somewhere we might want to consider something, maybe doing like an SKF demo. That might be interesting. I don't know how easy it would be to get from, you're in the Netherlands, right, Glenn?
Yeah, Belgium actually.
Belgium.
But
Belgium, okay.
if it's in Spain, you said?
It is
Yeah.
in Spain.
Yeah, that should be quite close by and easy to do.
I can't recall the name of the city. It's where the Guggenheim Museum is. It's in
Madrid?
no, Bilboa.
Barcelona?
Nope, not Barcelona. Bilboa.
Ah, yeah, that's nice. And do we need to do the call for papers then? Did you say that or?
I would suggest so. If anyone wants any assistance in kind of massaging their CFP, I'm glad to help out. Feel free to resubmit something you submitted for Vancouver. That's not save yourself some work, unless you have a newer, better idea.
Yeah, I didn't went to the one for Vancouver because yeah, it was quite long and wasn't sure if it would be reimbursed and stuff like that.
Right.
But this one should be more doable then.
Yeah, they're doing, it looks like the same micro conferences. They have ContainerCon again. They have a diversity empowerment summit, LinuxCon, OpenAI, open source leadership, OSPOCon, supply chain. So it looks like kind of the same categories again. And we had a lot of success submitting things to the leadership summit.
Oh, cool. Let me make a call for paper requests and then, yeah, hopefully I can also be there if I got accepted.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say just circumstantially, I found that people are having good success getting acceptances into the supply chain this year and into the DE&I. So those are underrepresented, but you can have talks that are in several of them. So I've got a mentee at Vancouver who's speaking in 3 different subtracks.
Nice.
Because we've got a Java project that focuses on security, that focuses on supply chain, right? So split across them and see who can get coverage if you're going to go anyway.
Awesome. Yeah. Excellent advice. All right, let's flip over to our agenda. Oh, I already got that. Thank you. Somebody's taking notes for me. I appreciate that. What would we like to work on today together, team?
It sounds like to me our next big movements are going to be after we get the review from the governing board, right?
Yes.
Is there much that we can do today? I mean, beyond that, I think really it's just thinking about some abstracts to send in for the next round. And I think also getting a final tab of who's going to be represented at OSS North America. Although I just can look at the website too.
Yeah, I have not been keeping a list of everybody.
Yeah, I'll just bring up get the agenda for OpenSSF up real quick.
I do have Christine and Sal's talks in my sched though.
Cool. Yeah, I think beyond that, really, if we can look around mobilizing pretty quickly after we get sort of that review from the board done, I'd be happy to loop back in like middle of next week and see what we really want to start like actioning on there, because that's all gonna probably take a few next steps on GitHub and refactor. I'd assume those are the next steps. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Christine and Jay, do we have any actionable feedback from your subcommittee? We want to try to make adjustments in the plan now for DE&I.
Yeah, I was actually thinking when I was reading the Slack channel that we probably want to focus on that next with the DEI to see how we want to figure out the plan.
Yeah, if there's specific actions we want to take, or if we want to say we want to pilot with this organization or that organization, it might be helpful to get it in there.
Yeah. So we have a subcommittee meeting next week. We can probably focus on that topic.
Okay. And I expect, just kind of looking at the economy and whatnot, I think we'll get the most pushback on section 3 of our plan, like rewards piece. So I think we should maybe spend a couple cycles thinking about what alternatives or ways to achieve some of those goals without specifically like a scholarship or a grant, for example? Are there
Mhm.
things we still could achieve with reduced or no budget?
Yeah, I think so. That's where I really want to have that one feedback loop, because that's where it gets really powerful to talk about the DE&I and partnerships potential. Because that, I think what I want to be able to demonstrate to them is that this networking and partnerships is bringing in a massive group of people that are looking to support people into tech. I don't think it should be financially centralized through Linux Foundation, but I would love their feedback on where they specifically are not going to be supporting. And then we can build out, or I'd like to build out in part the DE&I initiative around those gaps and deficits, because that's where we can go and reach out to partnerships and say, hey, this is our lack and need, but we can get you massive exposure for the partnership.
And we also can have, as a, for example, like if we're interested and we want to say mentorship is a key value for us, we want to push first. That's something we can do for, air quotes, $0. People could donate their time to work with folks from these communities quite easily and have a big impact there, and doing the portfolio reviews, that type of thing. So I think there's a lot of things we can still achieve and not necessarily, I don't know what they're going to say. I looking at my corporation, that those were our highest dollar requests, were things like for scholarships and grants, for example.
Yeah. But that's also like one MLH grant away from being outside of this budget. So
yeah. And if we had someone that was excelled or had experience with grant writing and grant applications, that would be potentially useful as well. Or new people within, like Dan works a lot with Open UK, for example. So if they had some type of scholarship or grant activities, if we had that connection, we could figure out how we could reach out to those bodies.
yeah. Well, the head of Open UK is going to be at OpenSSF Day. So
Yay.
talk about then. And I'm talking to them on Thursday, so I can bring up some of these ideas. They're definitely interested in engaging more.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm biased, but at least it could be the time zones that my calls are in. But I get a lot of participation from folks in Europe, so I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah.
I need to figure out a way to get better engaged with APAC, which unfortunately precludes my friends from Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, across the board, that's something we got to work on. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any tracks in DE&I this year on the subject, but there were at the last OSS that I found really interesting. I'll try to find a link and put that in the DE&I Slack, because there was a really good one just before my talk last in Dublin on the subject. But yeah, so I think today, the one thing that I've got to follow up on is just getting a list of questions out to everyone that's going to be on my panel at OpenSSF Day, and making sure that we're all on the same page. And then if there's anyone that needs to go get their questions reviewed formally internally before they step on that stage, we've got no surprises.
Yep.
But that's it on my side for now.
Okay. Does anybody have any other topics they wanted to work on today? Okay, again, I encourage everybody. Oh, go ahead, Jay. Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I did have something. So I got a quick introduction with I believe her name is Nithya.
Yeah.
Up at the LF, to talk to her specifically about DE&I stuff, and mainly DE&I training. And of course, this is in this is serving two purposes. One, to understand, training initiatives that we can help develop at the LF level, ones that can trickle down into the OpenSSF, how the LF is branching out with other organizations and communities regarding DE&I. So that's something that in anticipation of us accomplishing the objective of the greater SIG under the working group that we're trying to do. So I'm doing a preemptive strike and hit on because I had the opportunity to get that introduction, so I took it. I just wanted to bring that here and let you know I'm doing that.
That's great. Yeah. Is that Nithya Ruff?
That's Nithya Ruff, yeah.
Yeah. Nice lady. She's been a big supporter of the OpenSSF, so that'll be a great meeting. Good connection to have. All right. Additional thoughts or comments?
Jay, what was that contact one again? I won't put down their name, but just what's the,
So she's at the was it the CTO or I can't remember, chief open source officer at Amazon, but she
Okay.
also sits on the board of the LF.
okay, got it.
And I believe she does a lot of work regarding DE&I at the LF level. And so I had the opportunity to get that to make that introduction. And I took it. So
Phenomenal.
do you want me to introduce you? I said yes. Yeah. Oh,
Very cool. Okay.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I've interacted with her quite a bit.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll name drop when I speak to her.
Great. So again, I encourage everybody to consider a paper for the European Summit and future OpenSSF Day. If you would like assistance or a second set of eyes on your CFP, let me know. And don't feel bad about recycling something you did for Vancouver, especially if it got accepted.
Yeah. It is generally about 60% different crowd between NA and EU.
Yeah.
Which is good crossover. Cool.
All right, folks. You all enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sure I'll see some of you at the Vol meeting later.
That sounds good. And for the updates around the mobilization plan, where should I keep my eyes out on that?
I will hit people up in Slack, and I will send a email to the mailing list if there's anything officially stated.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, I'm ready for my budget to be taken down to 0 because I can still get. Let's do it.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but I feel that is a possibility.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I can work with that. Cool. All right.
All right, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
All right, bye.